The Trump administration will issue economic sanctions against international officials who are investigating possible war crimes by American troops in Afghanistan and bar them from entering the United States. President Trump ordered the restrictions as a warning to the International Criminal Court.
Here's a summary of the article.
June 11, 2020, Washington. International investigators looking into charges of war crimes by Americans in Afghanistan will face economic penalties and travel restrictions, the Trump administration warned on Thursday, accusing a Hague-based court of corruption and maintaining that the United States can prosecute its own military and intelligence personnel. The sanctions come more than 2 years after the International Criminal Court announced an inquiry into allegations of crimes against humanity, including torture and rape, by U.S. forces in Afghanistan and at CIA interrogation facilities abroad. President Trump ordered the new penalties on Wednesday, and dispatched 4 of his most senior advisers to announce them on Thursday as a rebuke to what the administration described as an affront to American sovereignty, despite the risk of appearing to dismiss attention to possible human rights abuses. The court called the new restrictions an escalation and an unacceptable attempt to interfere with the rule of law and the court's judicial proceedings. Washington has cooperated with the court on past cases, and American citizens can be subject to its jurisdiction in investigations of crimes that are committed in countries that have joined. The Trump administration has long reviled the court. Mr. Trump's previous national security advisor, John R. Bolton, who has been a fervent opponent of the legal body since 2002, delivered a fiery speech in September 2018 that first put the court on notice that it could be subject to American sanctions. The Obama administration cooperated with the court on some of its investigations, including into human rights abuses in Darfur, a region of Sudan, but did not renew a push for American membership.
This post received a score of 61,000, with an upvote ratio of 91%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Crossmark checkmark.
And we're definitely against other countries sanctioning us for interference into their elections.
That one gets you a triple sanction and an international boycott and say goodbye to your economy.
If they're too successful in their democratic vote for the wrong parties, USA will step in and ensure that an authoritarian freedom trademark state is created.
How many more South American democracies do we have to topple for you to learn that socialism doesn't work?
Also, everything left of center-right is a socialism to Americans apparently.
Everything center is left now. You don't like that kids are separated from their families, put into cages and left to die of dehydration at 7 years old? What kind of pussy liberal are you again? Can't wait for Trump to nuke Michigan. That will really own the libs. These are examples of simple morality being turned into partisan issues, not genuine feelings.
Yay, it amazes me that right now clean air and drinkable water are leftist talking points.
Had a very conservative coworker tell me the corporations will sort out climate change because it's in their interest. I was no, they won't. That's why Nixon had to set up the EPA.
It still astounds me that it was Nixon that was responsible for the EPA.
Trump does not like the verdict, so he punishes the investigators. This is criminal, but Trump believes he is above the law.
Does anybody else find how ironic it is that he's telling the criminal court this?
It's not ironic. It's an established goal of the authoritarian right to abolish all international, global oversight entities. This is not a joke, this is a fascist revolution.
U.S. citizen here, this is fucking disgusting.
Fun fact, the US has a law that allows them to invade the Netherlands if any of their civilians is to be tried in the International Criminal Court. This was signed into law under Bush, I believe, to specifically prevent Americans from being prosecuted for war crimes, etc. It was signed into law in 2002. Just to give you an indication of how complicit almost the entire US political apparatus is.
Wow, taking obstruction of justice up to a whole new level.
Not to mention USA passed a law to military invade a longtime ally. Think about that for a second. Friends, right? Right.
While this is bad and typical for Trump, let's all not forget that the U.S. do not accept authority from the ICC now and haven't under past presidents either. They have thought themselves above the law for much longer than Trump is in office. I wouldn't bet on past administrations accepting a verdict from ICC regarding their war crimes.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.